And it was just utter destruction. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
That was my world. It was all of our worlds.
We would find those animals. We would not quit until we knew that they were either dead or alive.
We knew that there was another hurricane brewing. We didn't have a lot of time.
We kept saying it can't get any worse, and it did.
I'm still worried about you too.
It was like one miracle after the other. I only wish the Dolphins could talk. I mean, they tell us an incredible story.
From the Weather Channel, this is Storm Stories with meteorologist Jim Cantori.
Hurricane Katrina, the costliest natural disaster in U.S. history. Nightmarish images of chaos and destruction are forever burned into the nation's psyche. But amidst the devastation come amazing stories of survival, and not just of humans, but also of animals, especially the region's marine life.
It was like one miracle after the other. I mean, things that we never believed that would happen were happening.
August 28, 2005, Hurricane Katrina tears across the Gulf of Mexico with sustained wind speeds of 175 miles per hour. It is just hours away from deadly impact. At the Audubon Aquarium in New Orleans, workers prepare over 10,000 animals, including 19 penguins, to ride out the hurricane.
It's a pretty sturdy building, and we are on high ground. We have meals ready to eat and cases of water and generators and backup generators. So we felt pretty confident.
About 60 miles northeast of New Orleans, in Gulfport, Mississippi, the staff of the Marine Life Oceanarium is also preparing their animals for the storm.
Our sea lion pens were all constructed so that no animal would be caught in a pen. You know, if the waters came up, there was escape routes for any animal, you know, to swim out.
One major concern is the safety of 14 trained bottlenose dolphins. They are the oceanarium's main attraction and have brought joy to the Gulfport community for years.
They're very smart animals. It's great working with them because as you work with them longer and longer, you build a really strong relationship with them and a great bond. They're like your kids.
6 of the dolphins are moved inland.
We actually evacuated to some hotel pools that were farther north from the park. We prepared those pools to make them saltwater.
The 8 remaining dolphins are transferred to the oceanarium's 30-foot high main tank.
It was the biggest structure we had at the park. It's a metal and concrete structure, and it withstood Hurricane Camille, so, you know, we had a lot of faith in the tank.
At 6 a.m., the tank faces the ultimate test as Hurricane Katrina slams into the Gulf Coast. Many of the Marine Life Oceanarium staff members wait out the hurricane at home.
The rain was actually parallel to the ground, hitting, and it got stronger and stronger. You hear trees snap and crack.
I'm sitting there just waiting for the roof to blow off because I'm hearing the house just creak and moan and groan. It's a scary thing.
The hurricane's massive storm surge plunges the coasts of Louisiana and Mississippi underwater. By 7 p.m., Katrina leaves the Gulf Coast. The region looks like a war zone as people turn to saving the lives of humans and animals struggling to survive in the hurricane's aftermath. In Gulfport, Marine Life Oceanarium employees check on the 6 dolphins who rode out Katrina in hotel pools.
They were fine. No cuts or anything on them. They handled it just fine.
They are hopeful that the 8 dolphins left in the 30-foot tank will have a similar fate. But nothing can prepare them for the apocalyptic scene at the oceanarium.
It's just complete devastation all the way down. I mean, you could see it. It just got worse and worse and worse the closer you got towards the beach.
I mean, it was just utter destruction. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
They scour the park looking for their animals.
There was no animals there. There was no dead animals. There was no live animals. There was just nothing there.
Your gut, just your whole heart. I mean, it's just, that was my world. It was all of our worlds, you know?
The main tank is still intact, but it is completely void of water. The 8 dolphins are nowhere to be found.
We think the tidal surge had come up so high that it filled up the tank and literally just washed all of the animals out.
The staff believes that the dolphins have been swept into the Gulf of Mexico. In the wild, the trained animals' lives are in jeopardy.
There's dangers out there. Sharks, just losing them, getting lost, or them splitting up as a group and going their separate ways.
But the trainers are utterly helpless to do anything about it.
There was a moratorium on waterways. The water was full of debris. We didn't have helicopters, we didn't have boats.
Focus turns to capturing the 18 missing sea lions before it's too late to save them and to protect others from the threat they pose.
And they're big. It's like having a 500-pound dog bite you, and they're going to be even more, aggressive than under normal circumstances.
Back in New Orleans, employees inspect the carnage at the Audubon Aquarium. What was once a popular tourist attraction is now a house of horrors.
We got in and it was pitch black in here and hot. It was miserable. The water was so brown and putrid.
The aquarium's backup generators shut down, cutting off all oxygen to the tanks. The devastation is staggering. Over 5,000 animals are dead. As the staff approaches their prized penguin collection, they fear the worst.
We had 16 African penguins, also called black-footed penguins, and we also have 3 rockhoppers. They're crested penguins. They have those wild yellow feathers over their eyes.
The penguins cannot survive in scorching hot weather, and the temperature inside the aquarium is pushing triple digits.
I ran to the penguins and, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and counted them all. They were all alive.
All 19 penguins have survived. Now the focus becomes keeping them alive. With no resources, the clock is ticking to relocate the animals to other facilities.
This is Patience. She's going to be 23 years old in 2 months. That's pretty good for a penguin.
Of particular concern is Patience, the aquarium's oldest penguin who is frail and may have difficulty on an extensive journey.
The whole city wants you back here, huh?
Back in Gulfport, Mississippi, the search for sea lions is underway. The trainers know that if they don't track them down quickly, the sea lions will perish.
It was really hot after the storm. I mean, it was pushing 100 degrees for the first week. So, we don't want these guys overheating.
Sea lion sightings pour in from all over the region.
The sea lions were found everywhere. They were found like 30 miles from each direction of the park.
They were in somebody's yard, somebody's swimming pool, under a bridge, or in a swamp.
Amazingly, over the course of several days, every single sea lion is accounted for. But of the 18 that are found, some cannot be saved.
Unfortunately, we had 5 sea lions. 2 had to be euthanized because of the injuries. The other 3 died.
September 10th, 12 days after Hurricane Katrina, the Oceanarium staff finally has enough resources to search for the 8 dolphins.
Those animals are everything to us. So not knowing where they are and not knowing what kind of condition they're in is just so heartbreaking.
Marine mammal consultant Jeff Foster helps spearhead the rescue effort.
The odds of them staying together in a group weren't very good, but we knew that they wouldn't be able to survive very well.
3 of the dolphins were born at the Oceanarium, and the rest have been in captivity for years.
They don't have the hunting capabilities, navigational skills, and the social skills that are necessary to be able to survive in the wild.
It's like, if you have a puppy in your home and you throw him in a jungle and expect him to be a wild animal, it's not feasible.
By boat and by helicopter, the rescue team is determined to do whatever it takes to save the dolphins. But it's a race against the clock.
We would put it forth every single effort possible to find those animals. We would not quit until we knew that they were either dead or alive.
September 10th, 2005. Gulfport, Mississippi. In Hurricane Katrina's wake, residents are picking up the pieces of their destroyed lives. And a drama is unfolding by air and sea to locate 8 bottlenose dolphins swept into the Gulf of Mexico.
The idea was that a helicopter can scour a large amount of area in a very short period of time, and if we would identify something, then we could radio the boat to come and see that.
The search team believes that the captive dolphins have been in the wild for nearly 2 weeks, but they are still hopeful they can save them. Within minutes of taking off, Moby Solangi eyes a promising lead from the helicopter.
I just saw in the dirty water 2 or 3 animals, so I just felt that this is a group that needs to be checked out.
The helicopter had radioed us and said that they had spotted a group of dolphins, and they gave us the coordinates, and they said, go check them out.
The boat speeds to the location. The trainers on board bang on buckets and blow their whistles, signals that only captive dolphins will recognize.
Within a few seconds, the first dolphin had popped up right in front of me. And then within a few more seconds, there was another one, and then it was just like boom, boom, boom.
It was so fast, it was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Amazingly, all 8 dolphins from the Marine Life Oceanarium are found together.
It's very difficult to explain the tremendous joy. It was an incredible feeling.
It was just a miracle. We jumped right in with them and just, you know, it was just so wonderful to be reunited with them.
Hi, everybody.
Joy quickly turns to concern as the rescuers examine the dolphins.
They had large lacerations. Some of these lacerations were 3 feet long and 3 to 4 inches deep. One of them had a dorsal fin that was almost cut all the way through.
These animals were starving. They had survived days without any food or in contaminated water.
Yeah, he's a good boy. Where's Jill now?
The trainers feed the dolphins and start to nurse them back to health. They also formulate a plan to get the dolphins out of the Gulf using a safe and humane method called beaching.
Beaching is when you can ask the animal to come out of the water onto a dock or to a platform.
Roll this out, hold on. Roll this out.
The goal is to train the dolphins to beach onto floating mats.
Once we get them onto the mats, we'll put them in a stretcher and start taking them out.
Over the course of 5 days, the trainers teach the dolphins to beach onto the mats.
We've been trying to get a lot of food into them and trying to get their medications, trying to build up their strength before we actually try to reacquire them.
Both teacher and student face extreme danger in the open water.
Sharks would bump the platform trying to get to the fish that the dolphins were trying to eat, and the whole thing was kind of a messy situation.
Wild dolphins also harass their unwelcome brethren.
Everybody thinks dolphins are nice, cute little fuzzy things, but they can be very vicious to each other. They can kill another dolphin.
We have had wild animals in the area that have interacted with them. They're very nervous when that does happen.
In addition to predators, the water itself poses a major threat.
I was worried about bacterial infections. The water was polluted. We had no clue as far as what was in that water.
With the situation becoming hazardous, the trainers decide to start pulling dolphins out of the water immediately. But who should go first?
Do you pick the oldest? Do you pick the youngest? Do you pick the most injured?
We had to make a, calculated decision which ones to take out first. Because as you took out the dominant animals, the others would have no leader. I mean, a group without a leader kind of starts falling apart.
There's a couple animals that we're very concerned about, and we may take them as early as later this afternoon.
The trainers start with Tony and Jackie, the dolphins with the most serious injuries.
We had them slide out of the mats, and they slid right out just like it was scripted. It was just perfect.
1, 2, 3.
After we would pull one of them out, we would have somebody stay on the mat and keep feeding the others like, hey, no big deal, nothing's too different, your friend's fine, like everything's cool.
After leaving the Gulf, the dolphins are eventually transported to pools set up at a nearby naval base.
Those portable pools were like something you put up in your backyard, except they're, a lot bigger, on a bigger scale. We were able to control the water quality, everything we needed to do to keep these guys comfortable.
During the next couple of days, the trainers pulled 2 more dolphins out of the Gulf. With 4 total, they are now halfway home. But on September 18th, the drama takes a new turn for the worse.
Is that one yours?
I don't know, I don't think so.
We get out there at the same time as always, and there was no animals.
Come on, guys.
And so they missed breakfast, they missed lunch, and then pretty soon they missed dinner.
Things were going so well, you know, we were getting so close, and now this.
Right now it feels like these are wild animals in here.
We thought maybe because of the large number of sharks that were in the water that the smaller group couldn't protect themselves as well as a bigger group, so it was time for them to move somewhere else.
Rescuers fear that removing the 4 dolphins may have changed the group's dynamic.
We picked the wrong ones. Maybe we went the wrong order. And, you know, everything's going through your head on what could we have done different and where'd they go.
The rescuers mount another search for the 4 missing dolphins.
When we got the helicopters back again and started looking, we had 2 boats, one went left, one went right.
Another day passes, and still no sign of the dolphins. To make matters worse, Hurricane Rita heads straight for the Gulf Coast.
We knew that there was another hurricane brewing, so we knew we didn't have a lot of time, you know, to keep chasing these guys.
We were, you know, again, real discouraged. It was finally time to pull the plug.
September 20th, 2005. Rescuers put their own shattered lives on hold while searching for 4 dolphins off the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, and time is running out. Just as the team is ready to end the search, they get a promising lead.
We saw just off in the distance, we saw a dorsal fin. We should check that out.
The search party speeds toward the animal.
And I see this dolphin fly out of the water. Is it our dolphin? And then when you see the other 3 all jump up and come in your direction, and it's like, that's them, that's them.
All 4 dolphins are found together.
I'm still worried about you two. What is going on?
All right, on board.
But the celebration is short-lived. The rescue team still needs to remove the dolphins, and they want to do it before nightfall. The trainers haul the first dolphin in with a soft tail line.
Take a soft cotton rope, and then you place the rope over their tail.
They got the tail.
If you can get their tail portion up onto the mat, it's just a matter of sliding them up.
Next, they lay down a perimeter net so the other 3 dolphins can't swim away. This is a risky move.
If they hit the net, they wrap up in it. A dolphin can drown.
Trainers get the second dolphin to beach on the mat. Now, only Eli, the youngest, and Jill, the oldest, need rescue. Jeff Foster reels Jill in with a soft tail line. Jill is barely on board the boat when panic strikes.
And I hear this, animal in the net, animal in the net. And so now we're really in trouble.
4-year-old Eli is stuck in the net and will drown without help. Immediately, a crew of rescuers dive into the water.
We were able to get the head up and get it so it could take that first breath. Just a few more seconds longer, we would have lost the animal.
1, 2, 3.
The crew brings Eli into the boat. All 8 dolphins are safe.
We're just so happy. All of them, we got all of them.
We might not have been able to save the park, but at least, you know, we had the animals back and they were safe and sound.
I can't believe it's over. Oh.
8 months later, the city of New Orleans also has reason to celebrate.
He's finally here.
The Audubon Aquarium reopens, and their beloved penguins return after finding a temporary home in the Monterey Aquarium in California.
It was such a great day. There was a big celebration out front as the animals came in the door.
The crowd goes wild as Patience, the aquarium's oldest penguin, walks through the front door.
She's home! Patience is home, everybody.
The story of the Gulfport Dolphin Rescue is a bright spot amidst the devastation wrought by Hurricane Katrina.
It was the hardest time of my life, but I wouldn't change the work that we did for anything because I'm proud of what we did. And I'm proud to say that we're able to rescue those animals.
Today, the Dolphins live in a state-of-the-art facility in the Bahamas.
The best thing for these guys is to have a good home. And right now, they're in the best home they could possibly find.
They even have some new additions to the family.
I only wish the dolphins could talk. I mean, they tell us an incredible story.
For the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori. Your local forecast is next.